So, as you know, we are in our 5th Ride Your Lotus. Can you believe it? Stefan can believe it because he was there, all 50 of them, but but I can't believe it. So I guess it's been 4 years maybe.
Mm.
And I think this one will be the most simple one we've ever done. That's why I'm really looking forward to it. I guess we can be kind of really simple about it. It's like most of our spiritual goals, I guess, if you can call them like that, are usually to recognize our own true nature. So sometimes we get glimpses of it. We recognize our own true nature. And sometimes we don't. And we identify with a new ego or a new spiritual identification, whatever that means. And so today I really want to keep this like super simple. Maybe it's also because of the last week that I've had. I've just been mostly just kind of resting in my bed because I couldn't get up. I was so sick basically. And it was actually a super interesting week because when we can't live out our daily life or our personalities, whatever that is, right? Like being a mother or a wife or a partner or I don't know, woman, man, whatever we're identifying with, when we cannot live it out, that's when a lot of the other stuff actually has some space to just kind of show itself. So I think what I've been mostly kind of surprised about was that as soon as I would be resting, this is what I really want to do with our group, like today, just resting. So as soon as I would be resting in that luminous, spacious, warm nature that we are, some ideas would come up, or it would be something to do with that, or it would be some other energy, which is totally fine. I'm not saying that that was bad or anything like that, but I was just really surprised about how fast we kind of translate that true nature as something or as someone, and wanting to use it for itself. Even wanting to use it for the greater good of all, it's still wanting to use it instead of just resting in it. So that's why I was like, wow, you know, we could do this for the next 50 Ride Your Lotuses until the 100. We could do this meditation we're going to do today. And still, many of us wouldn't really get it. Because what it is really is to not even understand, because trying to understand is not it either. But kind of like being able to rest in our true nature without identifying with anything that's coming up is, of course, the spiritual challenge. But at the same time, it seems almost impossible, which surprised me because I was like, wow, how long have I been doing this? At least 20 years. And still, it seems to be very challenging. So then I was like, why would I come up again and again with new Ride Your Lotuses, which has been a pleasure, of course, for the last 50 times, but why not stick to the basis and just see if we can do it, or non-doing it, but just resting there. But then I was like, well, then there won't be much guidance. And then I saw the next kind of problem, which is like most of my rides have always been with a lot of guidance. I would kind of talk you into it, or I would keep your mind busy so that you could rest at the same time. So then I was like, well, you know, I was looking at the people that are joining, which most of you are all pretty, I cannot say advanced meditators, because then I would be pointing in the wrong direction. We're all trying to be beginners, right? As much as we can be beginners, the better it is, instead of believing that we're advanced meditators. But then again, most of you are. So then I was like, oh, okay, so then maybe it would be very interesting just to not have a full-on guidance this time, but a lot of silence there, you know, and a lot of spaciousness there, and just kind of see if we can actually rest without constantly needing some sort of guidance or stimulants there. Just all of us just resting. So for sure, I will be guiding, but maybe with less words this time than that we are used to. More with presence than with any words in that sense. And before we go in, I wanted to just emphasize what is the practice we're going to be doing today. So a lot of the times when we go into a meditative state, we kind of still try to guide ourselves into something or some experience. So there's still or a meditator or an experiencer who is experiencing something, or a meditator who is meditating. So these experiencer or meditator is the one that we want to be aware of. So that is the one that we want to let go of, even though we're trying to not guide it. And one of the only ways I've found in the last 20 or more years is to really rest in that true nature, which is, as most of you know, the stillness of the body, or just stillness, or just silence, or just spaciousness. And the interesting part is that when we allow the thoughts just to come and go, so we're not trying to hold back any thoughts or feelings. When they're coming up, we just allow them to come up in our awareness. So the thought will come and will go, because we're just, our awareness is the one that is going to observe it. So we're going to allow the mind to think, we're going to allow the mind to feel, we're going to allow everything that's coming up, but from a space of awareness. So it's just going to come up in our awareness and go. It's going to come up in our awareness and go. So, of course, one of the most simple examples of that is the crystal clear blue sky. So we are that crystal clear blue sky. That is our awareness, or our essence, which is complete, which is full, which is loved, which is being, which is light, warmth, all of these things. So we're going to observe that from the awareness itself. And this is what becomes so beautiful, because when we don't reject anything, and we don't judge anything, and we don't try to change anything, but we're just allowing to come whatever comes, seeing it come and go in that crystal clear blue sky that we are. So we're seeing it like clouds in the sky. That's when we realize who we truly are. which is that awareness, that container in which all of these movements are happening. And of course, you're more than welcome to keep on doing that for the rest of the times. This is what I'm constantly doing, but now even more than ever, because as I said, I was resting and not doing much else. But even today, when I was picking up my girl from school and I was driving, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to see all the movements without judging it, without identifying with it. It's just absolutely beautiful. Even the worst type of thoughts or worst types of feelings that we judge as non-spiritual are just not us anyway. All of it, every thought, every feeling, it's not that. So yeah, we could say a lot about it, but we can also just experience it without being an experiencer. And yeah, thank you for being here, because doing this all together definitely strengthens the power of it. And I do believe that this is what the world needs, is for us to become so detached and at the same time just so alive, not identifying with anything that's coming up. Okay. So is there any questions or any sharings before we go in? Okay, so let's go in. So just make sure your body is comfortable. If you can, sit up straight with a straight back, that is preferred, but if you want to lay down, you're more than welcome to do so. Maybe do it upright. So you're laying down, but you have pillows under your back, so you're still kind of upwards, which is going to be more easy to be aware. So let's start with our breath. So just feel, see, sense your breath going in and out of your body. So you're just allowing your breath in a very natural way to go in and out of your body. So now that you're becoming aware of your breath, it's probably already changing. So the awareness of the breath is changing the breath, but we're not doing it on purpose, or we are not focusing, or we are not managing the breath in any way. We're just observing the breath going in and out of the body. So whether the breath is shallow or deep, or whether it's fast or slow, there is no judgment, no preference, just observing the breath of the body. And what you will notice is that by allowing the breath just to go in and out of the body, and you being aware of it, the breath is probably going deeper. So it's not someone that is guiding the breath, it is the breath itself who's going deeper into the body because of the awareness. So you are the awareness. And you are observing the breath going in and out of the body. So now let's enter our inner landscape. And we will enter it through the eyes. So first of all, just feel, see, sense your eyes and the muscles around your eyes. And just make them soft. So if you want, you can warm your hands, the palms of your hands a little bit. This only if you feel like it. And then you can put those over your eyes so that the warmth of your hands is going into the eyes and around the eyes. And then really bring in that softness, soft eyes. The softer that your eyes are, the deeper you can go into a certain trance state in your body that we're going to go into. So you can, even if you feel that there is still quite some tension, then you can do some EFT tapping and you just tap around the eyes. It's incredible how many muscles that there are around the eyes, and even in the irises we have muscles. So once you start to relax deeply the eyes and you have soft eyes, at this point your eyes will begin to float like they are floating in water. It's almost as if they are going to kind of float a little bit backwards. So there is absolutely no more tension in the eyes, in the irises, and you just move the light of your eyes inwards. So you are moving into your eyes, into the middle of your head, where you're going to be resting for a moment. So you're resting your awareness or your center of awareness in the middle of your head, and you're, by resting here, you are on a very subtle level, a very, very subtle level, you are receiving a very gentle activation of prana, or life force. In the Tao we call this the Shen. It's a very high frequency of silence. It is not something we can put into words, but if we are trying to, then it would be a life force of bliss or enlightenment that we can really perceive when we are resting our awareness in this part, in this location of the body. So the life force comes from the awareness resting in the physical body in a very specific location. So just for a moment, just allow that life force to stream, to be awakened. And then we will, for those that are ready, we will start to move down through the central channel, if you know where that is. It really runs in the middle of the body from the top of the head down to the perineum area. And so your center of awareness is going to move through the central channel, down the throat, as if you're moving in an elevator. And then moving into the heart. So you can move into your physical heart, or you can move into the upper or lower heart chakras. You can stay in the central channel. Whatever you do, just feel yourself guided into an area of the body where you wish to rest your awareness. And by resting your awareness in the heart location of the body, there is a very different prana or life force that is going to be awoken. It's this here we call the chi. It's already a little bit more dense as an energy, a little bit more tangible as an energy than the head. This is our second center, main center in the body. So just rest here for a moment. And you can feel, see, sense that this prana, this life force, this chi, really has a very different quality to it, very different texture to it. This one, it has to do with connection. So just for a moment, you can think, feel, sense a connection with yourself or the source inside of yourself, or with someone that you love, or it could be an animal or a plant, or just really feeling a connection here. And you can also just rest and allow that life force just to spontaneously arise from your center of awareness, resting in this location of the body. Okay, beautiful. So now we will move down for whenever you're ready. Take your time. Move down through the central channel, and we will go to the third main center in the body, which is the belly. So to be very precise, it would be 4-finger width length down from the belly button in the central channel, but it actually is more beneficial if you go to where you are guided to. So that could be in the womb area, or for the men in the Hara area, or really wherever you are guided to rest your awareness. Is it in the belly? Is it in the central channel? Is it in the womb? Wherever it is, just rest your awareness here. And again, the life force is very, very different. It's much more materialized, you could say, than the other two main centers. It's the Jing, it's the energy, it's your personal energy, it's your life force, it's pure energy. Pure vitality. So again, just by resting here, we are allowing that life force, that vitality to rise, to be awoken, just maybe in the beginning very subtle, or it can be very powerful and intense. There is no preference. We are just not expecting anything, not trying to create anything. We are just resting and allowing it to be whatever it is. Some days it's strong, some days it's subtle. And when it's subtle, it doesn't mean it's not powerful. Usually, the more subtle it is, the more powerful it is. Okay, now combine these three life forces just by bringing your awareness to it. You can imagine it, you can feel it, you can sense it, you can know it, you can see it, whatever is your way. It is like this soft power. You can now start to steer it, or you can guide it. Almost like you would be able to create a painting in your inner landscape. So you can direct it. Like, the more familiar you will be with this Yi force, this I force, this combination of the three main centers, the more that you get used to this, or the more that you get familiar with this, the more that you can actually master it. So you can bring it to certain areas in the body that need more energy or healing or attention. Or you can pinpoint it like a needle to a very specific point, or a whole area of the body. So try it out, play with it, and bring it somewhere in the body. If you don't know where to bring it, I advise the kidney area. The kidney area is usually where we hold our unconscious tensions, unconscious fears, One of them is the fear of living, and one of them is the fear of dying, which can be very, very deep into our unconscious that we are not even aware of. But when we bring our I force or our Yi force into our kidneys, and if you don't know where your kidneys are, you can bring your 2 middle fingers on your navel, your belly button, and then go straight to the back of the body. And when your middle fingers touch each other on the spine, you put your hands flat on your back. That's where your kidneys are. So you can do that for a moment. Just really becoming very safe, like the whole nervous system, just by putting your hands on your kidneys and breathing, directing, guiding that beautiful, soft, very powerful force into them or into any other area that you've chosen in the body. It brings this very deep sense of relief, relaxation. And you can, even if you wish, you can repeat it to yourself with words or feelings or imagination. You can say, at this moment in time and space, my body and I are completely and utterly safe. In this moment in time and space, my body and I are completely and utterly safe. What does that feel like for you to be safe? Describe the feeling towards yourself. Only when we feel safe, there is a sense of spontaneous wisdom that can arise from within us. We can't become wise. We can only allow wisdom to arise from within us. And one of the conditions for it is that we have to feel utterly and completely safe in our body. Beautiful. So now we're going to spread out this I force, Yi force into all of our body through our awareness. So become aware of the full body in the sense of every cell of the body, the structure, the bones, the blood, the organs, your heart, your kidneys, your spleen, your liver, your lungs, your hands, your feet, the soles of your feet, all of your body. You can make a scan if you wish from the top all the way down to the soles of the feet. Like a dolphin, you're scanning your body, and when you scan it, you are connecting to it on a very deep level. So when your awareness through that scan is connecting to the physical body, through every cell of the body, through the DNA, through all that you are, there is a response. You can compare the response with your awareness being like a parent, like a mother or a father, and every cell of the body like a child. The body, the physical body as the child, but also every cell of it. So there is a response, simply a response from the awareness connecting to every cell of the body. You could say there's a response of joy, like the parent coming home after a long absence. We live so much in our heads and we live so much in that outside world that when we return home, when the awareness comes home in the inner landscape, this is where the magic happens. This is where there is that response. And it is exactly that response, every cell of the body towards the awareness coming home, that we are trying to rest into deeper and deeper. Just allowing that, you could say, recharging of the physical body, allowing the recharging of the awareness, the connection, just simply allowing your awareness to connect to your physical body. It's going to charge it on levels that are beyond our comprehension. So we're not trying to understand it, we're just resting our awareness in our physical body, allowing it to recharge. Now go deeper, deeper through the stillness of your physical body. Your awareness is always going deeper into the stillness of your being, where you are becoming one with the universe, just pure space. And just keep on going deeper and deeper into what we call the base. This empty space. But we are not getting lost in that emptiness. When we really rest deeply into that empty space, there's something that is aware. You could say there's someone or something that is aware of that space. Now you will feel, you will see that this awareness is not separated from that space. This awareness is say the light of that space. But these are just words. Just really rest in that awareness of space. So there is no doing, no becoming. If you feel that you are making any effort, or you're trying to become something, or you're trying to have an experience, this can be very subtle, on a very subtle level. You're trying to be or experience something. Just become aware of that effort and then just drop it. This is an indication of that personality, or that identification, that we are completely dropping this meditation. So there is no judgment here. So when you become aware of that effort, or that becoming, or that trying, or any type of very subtle effort, just being aware of it will dissolve it. Every time, just keep on falling back into that awareness. Whether there is a thought arising, or feeling, or whatever it is, it's totally welcome in this space. So we're not trying to fight it or reject it in any way. We're just allowing it to come and go. Come and go. And come and go. And then we start to see, we start to notice that there's something within this space. You could say a container of awareness, or awareness, simply awareness. Something that knows, something that is clear, something that is vivid and alive, without form, without shape. That doesn't change. That feels complete. This is our true nature, our essence. So rest in this essence, rest in this awareness, deeper and deeper. Okay, now we're going to do something very beneficial, you could say, for your human life, your human incarnation. Is that in this space that we are here, this awareness that we are, we're going to do a little bit of self-reflection. So just reflect on your life. You can choose 3 areas. For example, your intimate life with yourself, And then 2 other areas, maybe your professional life or your health or your wealth or your abundance. Just choose 3 areas in which you're going to reflect on any type of exhaustion. And if you can't find any area in your life, you can also choose the body, the speech, and the mind. So any exhaustion in the body, physically, any exhaustion in the speech, the communication, anything that you're trying to communicate and it's a feeling it's not heard, it's not seen, or you're trying to understand others in their communication and you just can't put the finger on it. Any exhaustion there. And then the 3rd area, the mind. Maybe you're trying to figure something out, how to become like this or like that, or why this is not working. Whatever it is, just use your own guidance and find 3 areas in which you have put a lot of effort. And just self-reflect from this space where you are now, this awareness that you are. Just look at that exhaustion, look at that pain body, pain speech, pain mind, that pain identity. And we're going to look at it in a very open, curious, loving, friendly way without judgment. So this is not an opportunity to start judging ourselves. It's in the contrary. It is just with a lot of self-compassion, just seeing, feeling, sensing, imagining this part of ourselves who we believe that we are and we identify with, how it is exhausting you, how it is trying to be or become something which it is not. So just reflect on this for a moment. Beautiful. So just really keep on hosting these parts of the self in this space. It can be feelings, it can be thoughts, it can be memories or sensations. Anything you're allowing it to come up that you have been identifying with. It can be something enjoyable or something painful, it doesn't really matter. It is something you have identified with as being you, and that you are now allowing to be set free, knowing that you are the awareness of that identification, you are the awareness of that part of you, liberating it here and now within yourself. And let's take it even a layer deeper, because we're getting to the end of the year. So maybe take the whole year. Where did you start the year? What were your aspirations? What were your challenges? See the efforts, see the exhaustion, and just allow these parts to be hosted in this space. So you're really connecting to these parts of yourself, like you would connect to a very young child. So it's really like very much open and curious and loving. It is not like you're trying to chase something or someone, or you're trying to hunt something down or something like this. It's the opposite. You're allowing it to come to you. You're allowing it to express itself. And if you feel any fear, to let it go, because maybe you have invested a lot of energy in this part of you. Maybe you've invested lifetimes into this role, into this identification. And if you feel fear, to let it go, then just host that as well, that fear. Because the more that you can let go of these identifications, the more you can actually play the role in a much better way, in a much more playful way. Without identification, without investment in them, without charge, just freely, playfully. So it doesn't mean you cannot be that person anymore. It just means that if you can dissolve it in this space, you'll be able to play it in a much better way, much more creative, open, and aware. Okay. So let's go back into that resting. Just really feeling, seeing, sensing that. Just allow everything to dissolve. Anything you have ever lived or anything you've ever thought or felt. Just see, feel, sense that it's just pure space. And it's not an empty space, it's filled with infinite potential. So when you let go, any ideas, any concepts, any identifications, any roles you have been playing, just allow them all to dissolve into this space and reconnect to that awareness that you are. This natural state of being, you could say. It's a natural state of being. When we can connect or reconnect to this natural state of being, there's something that happens spontaneously. Now, in the Buddhist traditions, we call this the enlightened qualities. So again, we're not going to create it like we're going to produce anything. It's not like that. We're just resting our awareness in this unmoving, unchanging state of being. And spontaneously arising from this state will be the enlightened qualities. And there's thousands of them. And we can give them names like joy or bliss or love or light or compassion, whatever it is, or maybe very, very subtle feeling of relief or equanimity, just or playfulness. But these are just suggestions, so you're not going to produce anything. You're just resting in your natural state. So you're not producing anything, you're just resting. Allowing these enlightened qualities to arise spontaneously from within you. And let's do this for a little bit. Just rest. So what we are doing now is called cultivating space. The more spacious that we can be, so the more these spontaneous qualities can arise from within us. And so how do we cultivate space? Just simply by being aware of that space. So be aware of every cell of your body is space. Every thought you have ever had or will ever have is pure space. Every emotion, it might feel dense or real, but it's just pure space. To really connect on a very deep level with inner and outer space. And when we are cultivating that space, we will find our true nature, which is an inseparable state of space and light. So within that space, there is the light of our awareness. And when we realize, when we rest our awareness in that space, there is that warmth, that enlightened quality that arises. And be aware of that arising warmth. Now, of course, warmth is just a word. It could be bliss, joy, peace, beauty, confidence. Whatever it is, be aware of it. And when we shine our light of our awareness on it, it can grow. Like the sunlight on a flower. Okay, so now to conclude this meditation, feel free to, it's kind of making a kind of a, you could say like a vow or something towards yourself that you're saying, okay, so for today or in the future, I wish to recognize my true nature in everything and everyone. And that whenever my ego is coming up, or my identification with my feelings, or identification with my thoughts, believing that that is I, just realize how many times that you think, I am feeling like this, I am feeling like that, or I am thinking like this, or just realize that all these movements of the mind, all these movements of your emotions, how many times do we identify with it as I? Seems to be an endless stream of identification with our emotions and thoughts. So you can, in this space now that we have created or just been resting in, you can kind of tune into yourself and say, okay, I wish to, maybe it's so, a wish is maybe better than a vow. A vow is so serious. This is not something serious. This is just a wish that I wish to recognize my true nature. I wish to recognize that I am identifying with my thoughts and emotions as being me, I, myself, me, myself, and I. And that is okay. It's the game of being human. But the more that I realize that I am not that, the more that I realize I am not my thoughts, the more that I'm realizing I am not my feelings and emotions, and the more I realize I'm not my body, I'm not even my actions, the more that I realize my pure essence that is always complete. And so I will be able to play a better role, more open, more spacious, more healthy, more happy, with more impact in the world and my own life. Feel that deeply inside, that all of that is within your reach. So you kind of say to yourself, yes, I wish, deeply wish to realize my true nature. And with that, have an impact in my life all around me. Positive impact. And then imagine yourself tomorrow, or wherever you are, maybe the next hours, or in the night, or tomorrow, and just bringing yourself back to this space. Whether you're going through intense emotions, or whether it's painful or happiness, whether it's bliss or pain, whether it's considered positive or negative, just see that you are not the experience or the experiencer. You are the awareness, the container in which it is all happening. Feel that deeply inside of yourself. Feel that that is the liberation. Okay, so whoever wishes to continue, feel free. This was about an hour, so I'm going to slowly take you out. But if you feel you want to continue, please feel free. You can log out. Just go on as long as you wish, just resting in that awareness. And if you feel like coming out, then you just slowly move your body, feel, see, sense. You can flutter your eyes open just 1/10 and just do not identify with anything you're seeing. You're feeling, seeing, sensing. You're still inwardly focused, even when you open your eyes. Slowly come back to the space. We'll do a little bit of sharing, so again, feel free to join or go in and out.